Today, as a global citizen that is a human being on this earth that has a certain set of time, that goes through certain elements of age and the desires to build oneself, and where I have been, my deeper desires when I was earlier on in life was to live in a place where I had more freedom to do and be as I wished, in a place that was warmer than I had existed in at that point in my life. I decided I was going to create everything in order to allow me to live in a place where I felt fully comfortable, where I felt most myself. So I did that. I invested many years and years of my life to prepare and to move to a place that many in the Western world would say is the ultimate retiring spot. To go to another place that you feel will be your place that you build into, that you resonate the most intensely with. Now, as I have learned, I resonated deeply, intensely for many different reasons, but the most predominant answer that I can give you today is that the specific unfinished business that my spirit had is dealt with. There is nothing other than Aeon's country luring people in for the taking. When you don't have access to the deeper parts of your own self and inner communication with understanding and knowing why these things are happening, you will place yourself in places that may put you at risk. I was having a conversation with a person about how going to certain places can actually do you way worse than you have ever expected. You want to escape the Western world. You want to remove yourself from so many of the things that you feel plagued with in the Western world. And you have this internal mentality that you just can't seem to find your satisfaction and happiness. And well, I'm here to tell you that I would like you to take more time to truly find another route of your own internal satisfaction. Because when you go to another place, when you believe that that will give you the satisfaction that you want because it has a culture that is more relatable to you, or it has people that want to actually have conversations with you, or it's a place that you are going to be more physically happy because your body will be in a hotter environment, or you will have access to more foods. Whatever the case you believe, remember there is another side to all of these things. When you go in any place with an open door and no understanding of how their energetics is built in that country, first by government, second by culture, third by religion, and fourth by communities. What do people believe? Do people actually have enough wealth to sustain themselves, or will you be the target? People might be very nice, people might be very welcoming, but what is the reason? And it will always say on the surface what you want to hear, because the more a person or a country has a requirement to pull people in from wealthier countries, the more they will not understand how they use you. They will have it already built into them as a child that people who look like you, or people who just act like you, or people who appear to have the money that you have, is more than they have ever dreamed of ever having. And so you will become what they utilize. And you might feel kind of like, that's not possible. I'll see it. I thought so myself. It's not easy to truly find what you understand as home, because it's not actually a physical place. It is deep within inside of yourself that you are searching for. It is a satisfaction. And I will save you the 10 years of drama and chaos, confusion, dysregulation, all kinds of crazy things, for you to just make a better decision today. Because the things you don't know about investing in another culture, everything nice is always shown on the surface. There's always a deeper and darker side to actually everything. Wealth in your spirit is built in a Western world. There are certain standards and behaviors you just know are acceptable. You have to do them. It is a part of the way the whole country runs. And that is a standard far above the people that you are going to be amongst. And you might see it as a relief that you don't have to uphold these standards at first. But truly, they are ways of upholding different parts of your energetic self that upholds the great being that you are. When others don't understand these natural hygiene things, these natural upkeep things, these natural, you keep all of the environment around you in pristine order, you actually treat animals and your vegetation around you with honor and respect. These are natural things that you will do in the Western world, which other places they seem to think it's not that important. And it's because they don't have the proper standards for themselves or the world. And if you believe you can go in and assist someone, then you are offering charity. Be prepared to drain yourself of everything you've ever had. You cannot change an entire culture or community. That is you impressing your belief systems and your wealth upon the unwealthy who desire to stay unwealthy. Otherwise, they would have moved to your country, to your Western civilization, and tried the best for themselves. There are certain places that cannot be helped, cared for, or assisted because they are meant to be the lower aspects of all of the world, and you can only ever advance the world by taking the highest civilizations higher. Find a way in the standards that you keep to make something better. Now, this is where you really need to invest in yourself, in the deeper aspects, in your own internal journey, versus running off to a place where you are putting yourself at risk for many, many different things. And one of them is your wealth. To move your money to another country, to be at the hands of overseas banks. Have you ever gone to the ATM and you're unable to pull out money when there's money in your account? Have you ever gotten somewhere and after being with someone you forgot everything? Have you ever been in a place where people offer gifts to you and they drag you down more than they bring you up? Have you ever been to a place where people smile in your face and they talk nicely to you, but every single day they talk down on you and wish that you would actually be eradicated from this earth? Do you know what it feels like to walk down the street and have the seething hatred because you look like what they wish they could be but never will ever try and step into it because they really don't have any self-worth? Have you ever been to a place where the other wealthy don't want you to join them because then they will become wealthier? Have you ever been to a place where people actually look at you like you are the problem in their life and every person blames you because you look like something that they can blame because you are a specific facial feature or you are a specific wealth bracket or you are something that they don't like about their own country, and they blame you for themselves not receiving those things or getting there? This is what happens when you go to countries that are not first world. Their mentalities is blame. It is always blame. It is somebody else's fault. They are not upheld and brought to a greater status of living because it is really built into the government system that they have. It is why they are susceptible to other great powers that might not have the best intentions. And if you ever think that the England, UK governance that gave so much education to the world was not a good thing, it is literally the best first world nation and all of its parties that are connected to it. If you look outside of that, those countries wish to chess move every single thing. And these other countries are susceptible to things that you don't understand or know. Their banking systems don't get to operate on the same feet. When you have a different area code associated to your number, to your accounts, to your social media, you're not shown certain things. You're not available for many things. When you go to other places, even if you have everything quote unquote made for you, you lose access to many, many, many things. Not just the things you might think of, but there are many more things that you haven't thought of. To be in another country and to have all of your money placed in overseas countries, you don't know how their insurance systems work. You don't know when it might just disappear. You don't know if you'll be able to have access to it. And I'm telling you this not out of a place of FEAR, but a place of making sure you're planning yourself appropriately. It is far better to pay a few extra dollars in tax and to be in the appropriate places with the secure financial systems. Secure energetic systems who uphold and value each and every one of their patrons. It is very, very important that you take the time to really invest in yourself. If you're unhappy in the first world, it is because you're spiritually not in tune with yourself. You are not forced to be spiritually in tune with yourself here. So if you're looking for that satisfaction, you will create that reality somewhere else. And to be forced to look at yourself is never an enjoyable situation. To buy an actual environment that is showing you that is giving you those feedback loops so that you pay attention to those deeper aspects of yourself to find that satisfaction, that reason to continue to live, to look at each part of every day and get excited to create, live, breathe, dance, feel alive, and see the depths of reality in front of you. This is what you're really looking for, is that ignition of life again. And you see it in these other cultures and in these other places because people have to live in that every day because they don't have a choice. They're living hand to mouth with everything. There is no such thing as an asset in their world. They don't know what it is to even own land or what a boundary is. You have to see and know the depths of what happens in these other countries. People do certain things because they have to, but they do not understand or know the value of even life itself. And so your life is not as important as what they can get from you. And that feels far worse and far terrible than you not having the satisfaction. So I really ask you to take a look at yourself. And why is it that you want to go to another country? That you want to have what everyone has been selling to you about tax havens, what everyone has been selling to you about having multiple passports and how that's better than where you are. I want you to see the value of what you have and the possibilities of what you will be losing. Really take account. And I want you to also really know that if you really want something, you will do your due diligence. I know sometimes it's difficult to continue going on in a place that you feel unhappy and unsatisfied, where you don't connect and are valued by the people around you. I get this. I do. I really have lived it in multiple countries, and I get what it really means to invest in yourself and to be truly satisfied with yourself. And the biggest thing that you must understand and know is you must own all of yourself. You must learn how to create your reality better. It is not the country that you're in. It is not the culture that you're surrounded in. It is truly how your mind is operating and the systems that it has been built upon. And it has nothing to do with your community and your culture. It has everything to do with how you perceive all of those things. Because it's most likely that you're in the safest place possible. And I don't want you to make the same mistake that I made. I went to a place that I learned so many things that have so much implications that I have overcome, yes, that I have learned from, yes, that I have gleaned from, yes, and that is why I write the way I write, I speak the way I speak, and the way that I've created this beautiful content for you to learn from, so that you do not have to go through these very, very deep valleys and high mountains to just survive through what happened in the valley. These are things that no human should ever have to experience. No human should ever have to experience what I did. I'm very grateful to be a level-headed human being because I continuously heal and evolve myself. I understand how to conceptualize. But when you do not have an energetics background, a spiritual background where you seek to know the things that need to be known, it could be very, very difficult for you in these places. You will never know. You will just start going down. I want you to be okay. I want you to want to live, because it gets worse when you go to these places, because over time you become a part of what they have built. It will just happen. The environment always soaks in. Be intentional with the value that you already have. It's very important for your own internal happiness and your own life. Because these things slowly eat away at you. The things you thought were wonderful really come from a place of the deepest, darkest, treacherous places. And when you understand what keeps the momentum of people living in these places where they are fully awake and alive, it does not feel good to be in those places continuously. It might look good on paper. It might look good when you look at them like they're alive. When you look at someone like they're alive and all you have is unsatisfaction in life, it is because they have created a bait stream for you to follow. Whatever you're looking for, they will make it for you. It is spiritual whoredom. People in other countries spiritually will create anything for someone who has higher wealth to drag them into places that are far worse than the worst of the worst. If you've ever experienced spiritual torment, then you will know. If you've simply been depressed, that is like scraping the surface of wax off of a candle. When I burnt through the entire candle and it went right through the table, burnt a hole through the table, and then burnt the whole table down. Then it lit fire to the hardwood and the whole house burnt to the ground, removing all of the vegetation within a 50-kilometer radius, because it lit fire to the entire beautiful forest that you made your house in. When I tell you things go on in deeper dimensions, it happens. People do things. Maintain your integrity with every element of your being to be truly satisfied. Invest in your spiritual depth by someone who has the intention of uplifting you and valuing you and wanting the betterment for you to continue to grow, earn, become a better, more expanded and beautiful being. If any spiritual person doesn't want to make you money wealthier, you leave them. Because it means they want that money well for themselves and they don't want it to be expanded. They want it to be hidden. As I want more money, material wealth continuously in my businesses and corporations, I want you to be more money, integral growth, expansion in your businesses and in your life. You must have that mentality when you walk into spirituality to do it correctly. Otherwise, it will not fare well for you. I can guarantee you that 1,000%. I understand how the mentality works. I understand how reality creation works. And I understand and know who will come to your doorstep to help you on your way to make you feel comfortable in your new place, in your new country, to give you all the things you want. The cost is much higher than you could ever know. This is why you must find a professional before you leave. Move your assets and walk out of something so highly valuable. I'm very grateful that I never moved my assets. It was a deeper part of my wisdom. but I did lose most things. I'm grateful to have been back now, safe, and with all the things that I have built for myself. I'm very grateful that I was able to secure myself appropriately. I know that I am very, very lucky in this way because of my intuition and my wisdom to remove myself at a specific time. Not everyone is this lucky. I want you to be able to learn from what I have gone through and prepare yourself properly so that you can enjoy all the assets that you have, that you've built, that you've created for yourself, so that you can be that global citizen, that you can truly have the satisfaction in your life that you desire in all aspects of your reality. Transformation of fate assists you with the deepest parts of yourself that you've learned to believe in things that create your reality in ways that don't allow your authenticity to come through. So the transformation of fate gives you that satisfaction because you are now wholly, fully, and completely yourself. Only one way to have a conversation with me to even look into this, and that's through membership at ENYELAH.com. A conversation will allow you to see much more of yourself and much more of what you truly desire out of life. It is very important to do your due diligence before you take yourself up and you move yourself to a place that you do not understand and know all of the ins and outs and how it will deeply affect all parts of your being and even your will to continue to live. It is really important. You can only have a glimpse of what might happen, and the rest of that will be up to your environment. The fate that you've created for yourself currently will assist with that. What do you deeply believe about life? Is it really worth preserving? I believe it is. In all ways, to expand oneself in the purest power that you are.